Assalamu alaikum, dear student. Today we will learn about renewable energy sources, how many types of renewable energy resources are there, and how to use those resources in order to obtain energy or produce energy. Okay, today's end in mind is to organize ideas for about renewable energy resources. Okay, before starting the topic renewable energy, let's let's watch one video to get to know about renewable energy.
Learn.
Renewable energy.
Smile and learn.
Renewable energy. We obtain energy from two different sources, renewable energy sources and non-renewable energy sources. Today we're going to learn about renewable energy sources. Renewable energy refers to all those limitless energy sources present in nature. The sun, the wind, the force of water, or the inner heat of the earth are examples of renewable energy sources. These energy sources are present in nature and are naturally replenished. That's why they never run out. These are some of the most well-known renewable energy types. Solar energy comes from the sun and reaches us as light and heat. For example, thanks to these solar panels, we can capture sunlight energy and transform it into thermal energy to heat water in this house. Eolic energy comes from the movement of air or the wind. For example, these windmills transform wind into electric energy. Tidal wave energy comes from the movement of sea waves or when tides change from high to low, and vice versa. Hydraulic energy is produced by the water we store in reservoirs or artificial lakes. Look at this dam. Water falls over from a high spot. Then, it flows through the hydroelectric factory, where the force of the water is transformed into electric energy. Geothermal energy is generated from the heat stored in the earth. This type of energy is used for heating a house or generating electricity, for example. Let's look at some of the main advantages of renewable energies. They are environmentally friendly because they don't emit CO2 or greenhouse effect gases. They are limitless because they are obtained from natural resources that don't run out and replenish naturally. They are safer for our health because they don't generate toxic residues harmful for people. There is no doubt that renewable energies have many advantages, but there are disadvantages as well. Renewable energy resources are not found everywhere in the world. Countries with shorter daylight hours cannot produce as much solar energy as other parts of the world. Obtaining renewable energy can be random or variable because it depends on natural phenomena that we cannot always predict. For example, the amount of rainfall. To reach the world energy objectives and help take care of the environment, it's indispensable to accelerate the transition to renewable energies.
Okay, now you all came to know about what are renewable energy resources and how many types of renewable energy resources are there, right beta? Okay, now let's today we'll focus on one type of renewable energy resources, that is hydroelectric power, HEP, right? Okay, now if I talk about HEP beta, we know that hydroelectricity, that's an important source of energy in Pakistan. The most of the hydroelectric plants in Pakistan are located on the rivers, in the mountainous areas of north, where the rugged topography provides a good head for the generation of electricity, which means that the water falls from a sufficient height onto the turbine and making it turn. Okay, I just want to make one thing clear, that for renewable energy resources, For renewable energy resources, we should know how each type of renewable energy resources it works, right? Why? Because each type of renewable energy resources, its process, we need to learn about the process. We need to learn about the process, right, beta? How does each type of energy resources it works? Okay. Now, other than that, um, um, when the electricity that which means that the water from we need a steep slope. There is the limitation. There are some factors are there, physical factors are there. Those are needed to run electricity. Uh, okay, those are needed basically to generate electricity, right? If we talk about HEP, right, what are those factors? The one is steep slope, right? That is why these HEP plants, they are built on the steep slope. Why? Because the water flow is also there, right? And water can fall. We need a certain velocity in order to turn those turbines, right? So that is why steep slope is required. For steady generation of hydroelectricity, the rivers must also have regular volume of water, volume and flow of water, right, beta? In Pakistan, more rainfall takes place in summer and glaciers also melt. Hence, the rivers have a good flow of water, right? But in winter, that is vice versa. The river flow decreases because of less rainfall and conversion of water into snow at higher elevation, right? So, what happens during winter? Regular supply of electricity is affected, right? So due to that, we need to experience load shedding, right? Few artificial lakes, sorry, not lakes, waterfall along canals have been utilized for small hydel plants. According to an estimate from WAPDA, right, the hydel plant's potential is 30,000 megawatt of each, of which 20,000 megawatt can be utilized economically, right, beta? Okay, there are, as I said, the working is very important to learn, right? We should know how does that electricity produce is being produced with the help of this uh, uh, hydel plants in a hydel plants. For that, I am referring on page number 144, figure 8.31. I'm repeating figure 8.31 given on page number 144. Right, beta? With the help of this diagram, we can easily come to know how does electricity produce through those huge structure of dams, right? In those hydel power stations, right, beta? Okay. Basically, a hydroelectric power stations that is used to use the force of flowing water to spin the hydro turbines. From a hydro turbine, there is a shaft going into the generator because of the water has made the hydro turbine spin rapidly, and this shaft it spins rapidly inside the magnetic field is in the generator, and this generates electricity, right? The electric current is regulated by transformer and then sent through the power lines, or we can say transmission lines, at the required voltage, right? And that voltage is being managed by transformer, as we discussed earlier also, right, when I was teaching you rural electrification and NGS, national grid system. Okay, not only government, but some private power plant, power and infrastructure board, PPIB. I'm repeating, private power and infrastructure board. It was set up in 1994 by the government to promote private sector participation in power generation. So the electricity crisis can be overcome in Pakistan, right? So through, with the help of this various small private sector, they have invested, they through different investors, right? Like if I'll give you example of the first private hydel power plant in the country was inaugurated by Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif in 2013 in Azad Kashmir. That was built by the private energy company and funded by Asian Development Bank, and other financial institutions were also involved in it, right? So these all were the private sectors also involved in generation of electricity, right, beta? Okay. Now, That's what it is written. The other major hydropower plants that we did study in grade 9s when the Indus Water Treaty was signed between two countries, right? So major project were Tarbela, Warsak and Mangla Dam, right? These all are the hydropower plant, right? They were inaugurated, right? These were the three large projects, Tarbela, Mangla and Warsak. Those were responsible to generate electricity. And not only these power plants, they are not responsible only to generate electricity. They are responsible to flow the control the water flow also, right? If there is a the water flow is more, that also can be controlled, right, beta? Okay, these installed energy, the installed capacity of the 3,478 megawatt uh, megawatt Tribila hydroelectric power stations will increase to 6,298 megawatt after completion of fourth extension and fifth extension. But there are problems also, right? Like we have studied about siltation. When the siltation will be there, so what happens due to siltation in reservoir, the capacity of water gets reduced. Storage capacity of water gets reduced in those reservoir. So due to that, electricity IGP cannot be generated, right, beta? So certain amount of water should be there in order to generate electricity. Now let's watch another video to get to know about the process that is being involved in generation of electricity by hydropower plants, right, beta? Let's watch it carefully and make notes.
Power, or hydroelectricity, refers to the conversion of energy from flowing water into electricity. It is considered a renewable energy source because the water cycle is constantly renewed by the sun. Or hydroelectricity power. Hydropower.
Okay, there's an connectivity issue. Let me start again.
Hydropower, or hydroelectricity, refers to the conversion of energy from flowing water into electricity. It is considered a renewable energy source because the water cycle is constantly renewed by the sun. One of the first uses of hydroenergy was for mechanical milling, such as grinding grains. But today, modern hydro plants produce electricity using turbines and generators. The mechanical energy created by moving water spins rotors on a turbine. This turbine is connected to an electromagnetic generator, which produces electricity when the turbine spins. There are two main types of hydroelectricity production: dams and run-of-river. Hydro dams utilize the potential energy from dammed water to produce electricity. A dam is a large barrier constructed to raise the level of water and control its flow. The elevation created by the dam creates gravitational force for turning the turbine when water is released. Some dams also contain an additional reservoir at their base where water is stored to be pumped to the higher reservoir for release when electricity is in demand. This is referred to as pumped storage hydro. The second form of hydroelectricity production is run-of-river hydro. Run-of-river still uses turbines and generators, but relies on natural water flow rates of rivers, diverting just a portion of the water through turbines. Because run-of-river hydro is subject to natural water variability, it is more intermittent than dammed hydro. There are various sizes of hydro plants that produce electricity. Large hydro, greater than 30 megawatts, small hydro, 100 kilowatts to 30 megawatts, and micro hydro, less than 100 kilowatts. The Hoover Dam in the United States is a whopping 2,074 megawatts, which is enough to serve 1.3 million people. Of all renewable energy sources, hydropower holds the largest share of worldwide electricity production. Hydropower has several benefits. It is a cost-competitive form of electricity, even though the initial building cost can be high. It is quite reliable compared to other renewable options and pairs well with other sources as it can be used as base load power. In some cases, dammed reservoirs can also help with flood control and be a reliable water supply for communities. There are also some concerns with hydropower, especially when it comes to large dams. Damming a river has a major impact on the local environment, changing wildlife habitats, blocking fish passage, and often forcing people in riverside communities to move out of their homes. In addition, dam failures can be catastrophic, claiming the lives of those living downstream. Hydro plants are also not completely free of greenhouse gas emissions. As with most forms of energy, carbon dioxide emissions happen during construction, particularly due to the large quantities of cement used, and plant matter in the flooded areas makes methane, another greenhouse gas, as it decays underwater. That's hydropower.
Okay, beta. So I hope now you got an idea that how is electricity being produced in hydel power plants, right, beta? Okay. Now these are the two main projects. Not two, three. As I mentioned, the pictures are being shown here. Some other pictures are also there. You can see in Fazle Karim book, right? In the chapter Power Resources, right? That is Tarbela Dam. That is at Tarbela KPK, and then Mangla Dam. Okay. Now there are some advantages and disadvantages, as those were mentioned also in the video. If we talk about HEP, right, it's a clean source of generating electricity, and it does not cause pollution, right? It is environment friendly, and water also can be reused, right? Okay, it is the cheapest. Again, I must say, in hydroelectricity, the heaviest expenditure is on the installation of the plant, right? The running expenses are negligible because the turbine wheel is moved by running water. It is renewable and can continue indefinitely unless something catastrophic takes place, as it was mentioned there, like change in climate or diversion of the course of the river, right? Um, um, and all these things, right? Disadvantages are the generation of HEP requires rough topography, so that good head is available for the running the turbine, right? Such areas are mostly located in the mountainous north of the Pakistan, right? It is sparsely populated and least economically developed, and it again it a huge capital investment is also required to build proper enabling structure to generate HEP. Electricity has to be transmitted long distances to the lowland, where the most required population is more. Like if we talk about upper Indus plain, right, in Punjab area, if that would have been generated in the extreme north of Pakistan, so that again this add to the cost of electricity consumption, right? Because the huge capital investment is needed in that also, right? So let me tell you the type of question that could come. Now you would be able to do the comparison between two different type of energy resources, like renewable and non-renewable. Like if the difference between a comparison between thermal and hydropower plant it comes, so you should be able to do those comparisons, right? And you should know the potential upcoming projects, those should be initiated. Like we have the current project is Diamir Bhasha Dam and Mohammed Dam, right? And then the other than that, you should know the factors affecting on the location of these projects, right? Or these enabling structure, where would it be most suitable to build all these enabling structures, right, to generate electricity. Like if we have spoken about for HEP, the presence of water, fast flowing rivers should be there, right? Steep slope should be there. And then climatic conditions also should be suitable, favorable, like more rainfall should be there, because water is required in more in amount, right, beta? Okay. And then you should be able to know about the advantages and disadvantages of each type of renewable and non-renewable energy resources, right? That was it from HEP from my side. Thank you so much, and I hope you have learned today from today's class, right, beta? Thank you so much. Allah Hafiz.